All right, Nick Holden. First, thank you for your service. This guy came in, he brought the vibes, he got rid of Dadonov's contract. Shout out to that. And then came in, and man, that first year, he played some important minutes, played some important games. This year, it was clear that he lost a step, but I still think overall, in the grand scheme of things, versus what you should be expecting for a guy Nick Holden's age, I think it was a fine season for him where he probably got thrusted into some roles that I don't know if it was necessarily fair for him as a 35-year-old.
I mean, he played 65 games, Ross. Like that's pretty damn good. And he was supposed to be a seventh defenseman. So he proved himself very valuable to this team. Yet another older veteran that can provide a different angle that a lot of these younger guys just don't have the experience. He's been on a lot of different teams. And I think he's a guy that just over his career, he's learned how to keep things light, especially when you're rebuilding, your team's not doing as good as you would hope. And you need guys like that can just kind of let the air out of a kind of tense situation. And I think Nick Holden was a great guy for that. He was an absolute warrior blocking shots on the penalty kill. He was so important. And him and Eric Brandstrom, as I've mentioned a couple times already, they were a good bottom pair. So I think that's the point we want to drive home here, Ross, is Nick Holden was the perfect guy for what the Ottawa Senators needed from him.
I think that he came in here as a workman-like defensive defenseman, and he brought it. 65 games this year, 2 goals, 14 assists for 16 points, expected goals percentage above 50, 52.1, and a Corsi number above 50 as well, 51.9, averaging 16.42 per game. And it's crazy to think he had 2 less points than Branny, and Branny played 10 more games. Like, he just seemed
Yeah.
like there were times where he was just in the right spot at the right time. I thought his gap control towards the end of the season, especially when he was playing a lot, you could really tell his pivots were taking a bit longer. And I mean, what a career for Nick Holden, though. I mean, for a guy who seemingly wasn't necessarily going to be a top guy coming out of junior, he worked his way up and he played 654 NHL games. And I'm not retiring him. I think that there's still a case to be made that he'll catch on with another team as a seventh defenseman type thing. But he came in here, played 141 games with the Ottawa Senators, the second most he's played on any team in the National Hockey League. He got close. He got 139 with Vegas and 135 with the Rangers. But he came in here, man, he was an even player both seasons. Kind of funny, right? Like,
Yeah.
both seasons exactly even in his plus minus. But came in here, man, he contributed, and I think he really helped with the culture and building that. I wish that they could bring him back as an assistant coach, a development coach,
Yep.
a trainer, like just a morale guy. Could he be Ottawa's nightmare? They're talking about bringing in a nightmare. Like, this guy, he's got the vibes, he's got all that, and it's just unfortunate that that's time is undefeated, and I think his time as a player in Ottawa definitely ran its course.
Wait, before we move on, are you saying nightmare as in like a bad dream or a mayor that works at night?
A mayor that plans out the nightlife in Ottawa. This is a real thing.
Oh, okay. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got you straight there.
Night, mayor, Mayor. How bad did you hope I was going to say ER there at the end and misspell mayor?
No, you're good. You're good. We may not know math on this show, but I have been very impressed with your vocabulary, and your word of the day is usually hit.
Yo,
Yep.
off-season content idea? Spelling bee for difficult Sens past players' names?
Oh, okay. I like. We should do that with
Simon,
Ian.
Simon Lajeunesse. Old goalie prospect. Yeah, see, we got some tough ones.
But you can't just throw me all francophone names though.
Hey,
That's an unfair
Vladislav
advantage.
Nemestnikov.
I could do that one.
Okay, we don't have time for that. Well,
Yeah, we're
that's
not.
a content idea.
Yeah, let's keep it on Nick Holden here. Keep it on the
Nicole,
rails.
but I mean, what else is there really to say? It was 2 years. It was enough as a player at his age right now. But cool guy, great guy. Wish him the best.
Yeah, I would love to have him as part of this staff. Like, just have him as a guy that's around. Like,
Locker room attendant.
honestly, yeah. Like,
Hey,
he's just great vibes.
receptionist.
Yes, the receptionist, absolutely.
I like that nickname. If people are just listening to this, it's like, what do you mean? Every player, when they either came up like Tyler Clevin or was acquired like Jacob Chikrin, they always started with Nick Holden.
Yep, you got to start there. You got to see how things go with Holden, then we'll work from there. I gave him a C plus rating, Ross, just because he was put into a situation much more than I think he anticipated and fans anticipated, and he did his job. That's the thing. He did his job. He was a guy that kept it loose in the locker room, kept things light and fun. So Nick Holden, I hope he finds another job playing somewhere, because I still think there's a log or two on the fire and he can bring that energy to another team and another culture. So all the best to Nick Holden.
We'll be his reference, right? It's like when you leave a job, it's like, hey, we liked you though. We'll be your reference. So we'll be Nick Holden's reference for his next gig.
Yeah, we got NHL GMs calling us being like, so Nick Holden, tell me about him.
Well, go check out our video on YouTube and wherever you download your
Like and subscribe.